Hey, Alpha fam, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Commission. Today on Alpha Commission, of course, we're going to go over the continued sideways action on the Bitcoin chart, as well as do a little review of Litecoin based on a viewer request. So first, we can see the crypto bubbles. Not much going on here, a bit of profit taking. We do see stocks just, mixed here. And let's go ahead and take a look at our previous episode that I put out last night as the holiday special there to see, what were the calls that we were making over here at the Alpha Commission for a little transparency and a truth in advertising. Sorry about that. We can see that this diagonal that we're climbing up here will also provide some type of support for us. So if we do end up losing that 16,750, you should probably be pretty wary that we're going to retest the lows of this area somewhere down around 16,300-ish, if not perhaps even lower to the 15,000-ish area, because this is our support right now. This is our intense. Um, okay, so you can see that price action was pretty much at the bottom of the alpha momentum pool. Over here, we were just really located in that 16,875 area, 16,858 area, and just testing the bottoms. We hadn't broken down yet, but I did suggest that there was a momentum level, that corresponded to the 2-day and also at the daily at the bottom of these momentum pools. And so let's go ahead and take a look what happened on the chart. Well, just lo and behold, we did lose the alpha momentum pool. I'm on the 6-hour right now. Let's go over to the 4-hour. You can see that we were approximately on this candle. We did have a clean break of that. You can see that we did, in fact, test this region that I put down here, and then we had a nice bounce back up. And then it was just a confirmed breakdown both from the daily and the 2-day. Now we're still in the daily, so I don't need to update any of these levels. All of these levels are still accurate until the close of the day at approximately 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do have just these, support and resistance regions, and then we have this kind of bullishness and bearishness biases. So we are solidly bearish right now. Sure, this could be just a liquidity grab to grab some of this liquidity, same as what we did over here, or we could continue to find our way down and come all the way back down to support or grabbing this middle area right here. There is lots up for grabs on this chart, and since we already tagged the top, it could make sense to tag the bottom, as I was mentioning in yesterday's episode. So just protect your positions. If you were going long, just understand we did break the diagonal that I set out here for us, and we did lose the daily momentum pool, and it does look like there's a good chance that we're going to lose the 2-day momentum pool, and the 2-day closes in 1 day and 5 hours. So the 2-day still has time, but the 1 day. It looks like we're just not going to be able to recover that today, so probably no strong bounce to the upside today. Tomorrow we'll have a second look at it. But let's go ahead and jump over to Litecoin based upon a viewer request. I'm not sure which one that they're using. I was looking at this one, and I did set some key levels here. Now, Litecoin is pretty interesting. If we just zoom out, let's go to the 2-week. You can see that there is a fairly large reset that happened on Litecoin. And of course, its history is much longer than this chart. Let's see if I can find an older chart just for comparison. Let's see, do we just have Tether? There we go. There we go. So we have a bunch of things going on in this chart as well that I've got out here. A little bit too busy. You can see that I have been tracking this coin for some time. Let's just turn off this, all of these markups. which is for my personal use. And you can see that we've explored both these bottoms and these tops fairly often. So we do have just a natural huge range here between $400 and $23 that Litecoin likes to explore. Now, we did retrace the majority of that area. It is possible that we could come back to our lows somewhere in the 20s. But you can see by these buy wicks over here, we have a lot of pressure on the 2 week all the way up to 35. And so that might now be extended up to the 50s. And then you can see also this huge buy wick right here. And so this asset is slowly being accumulated over time. And we may just be in an overall good position on the macro. How can I define that a little bit better? Let's throw on our EMAs and look at this. We have a 2 week bullish squeeze, potentially forming on Litecoin, which is something that we saw over here, and it's something that we saw over here. Now, those resulted in pretty good runs. So again, like I'm not bearish on Litecoin. If we go to the weekly, you can see that the weekly squeeze play we had down here, it took us all the way up here, right? Which was a nice 250%. We had a bullish squeeze here, here, and here, so we can just consider this low. And from the average of that squeeze, approximately here, all the way to the top, that was 650%. And so, could we get another run out of this, this kind of weekly squeeze that we have put in here? Well, we're already up. 40%. And if you look at my markings, you can see I had a buy box right in this area. So that would have corresponded right down there. We never did come back to check it, so there wasn't a second opportunity to buy. So this thing is just going fairly bullish. You saw a very similar phenomenon back here. We did end up wicking down into my buy box back here in 2020. And so this thing is actually showing a bit more strength than it showed back in 2020. Now, could this thing just wick lower back into that box just for a check back? Yeah, but based upon history, that might actually be a good time to buy. Now, we do see these type of fake out kind of weekly squeezes, where this one in particular was very traumatic. It took us all the way down below this diagonal and tapped this liquidity down here. So could we see something similar to that, where let's just say Bitcoin or the stock market capitulates and then Litecoin comes along with it? Yeah, I mean, we could come back down here and maybe retest these lows. Now, we already got that, so I'm not sure that we're actually going to do that. But it is possible even to come all the way back down to support on this macro range. So we do have to understand there is still risk in this asset. It's not like anything is guaranteed in these risky markets like crypto. But in general, based upon our structure, we haven't lost anything. And I still think that this area from 90 to 140 is still a pretty good target, just based upon historically how we keep tapping the middle of the chart here. So for Litecoin, still bullish on Litecoin, and it's just been very reliable in this market compared to most other assets, which is why I have a lot of markup on it. Let's go back to a cleaner chart, the one that I had more local analysis on, and believe that was, let's see, which one was that one? This one? And dot, dot, dot. Let's go ahead and go to the 6 hour. Oops. Nope, this isn't the one. Let's check it out again. TradingView has added a lot of sources for charts, so it's very easy to get confused on them. Here we go. I was on a perpetual chart. Not sure why I chose that one in particular, but I did. So just on a local basis here, we're on the 6 hour. You can see that we're having a fairly strong pullback on Litecoin at the moment, but I have marked up very strong momentum levels for us to pay attention to. Now, if I just stretch this out as much as I can to fit it on the screen so you can see these lines a bit better, you can see that that we do have these areas over here that we want to pay attention to. And in particular, the level for bullishness is going to be 70.80. Not sure why it's printing it all the way up there, but we are going to need to hold that 70.80. I can delete some of these other lines. Those were just measurements for our momentum. And that may be a little bit front runnable around these levels here around 69, 70, right, somewhere around in there. But overall, we do want to see some solid 4-hour candles being put above 70.80 in order for us to continue with our bullishness to the upside. You don't have to you don't have to take out this wick before you feel bullish. We can really just start to build some price action above $70.80. Keep in mind that we did tag this resistance over here, and there is a good chance that we're going to tag all of this resistance up here and also have a pullback. So, 73.33 is likely to be a resistant area even if we do pop back up. So we are in that resistance area. The majority of the easy move is over. You can see this kind of empty candle over here, but we do have a lot of resistance overhead. So this is going to be a tough fight. Now, if we do get through that, there is a good chance that we can move all the way through to $80 or perhaps even $85. And then we're going to be getting into this area, which is going to be very macro resistant. But if we do take out 89.37, in my opinion, with maybe a couple daily candles or something, then that should look good for the huge macro bullishness, basically the 2-week macro chart. We will be in a just enormous squeeze play for Litecoin. So I am macro bullish on it still. However, we are in risky areas as we have this pullback. Again, there could be a catastrophic drop on this chart. Nothing is guaranteed. And so in order to continue this move, this week, these next couple days, I would want to hold this level of approximately a 67 dollars and 45 cents. Really don't want to lose $66.24, and probably we're already failing if we're losing $64.99. And I'll just consider that we've lost our macro bullishness if we do lose $61.59. So those are the levels that I would really watch out for, that 67.45 and then 66.24. 64.99 and 61.59, basically in that order, okay? And you can see which ones I consider more important. Again, and if we want to have bullishness, we can consider that we might have a bounce off of the 67.45 area, especially if we hold, just continuously above 66.24. Our momentum pivot is still going to allow us to have that higher low, which could take us back up. So nothing too critical until we start losing these lows right over here. And then definitely if we lose this low over here, we just have a lot of room for a potential U-turn here. So not too worried. This is very typical of an overextension. You can see that it may need to just reset. There might be a couple bounces to the downside. We might consider this maybe I'm not an Elliott wave expert or anything like that, but maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that might be happening, right? Where we get a push up into this area before we get some resistance. And so, you know, there could be a little bit more to this move to go, assuming that's a 5-wave Elliott wave. If we are having some type of correction, and maybe this is already a 5-wave, and I just don't know how to interpret it, maybe something like this, and it's just really sloppy. Or maybe this has something, in it, then, we could potentially see some type of, correction or something also before holding those lows and then, perhaps trying again, right? So again, like we can play in this area, but I really wouldn't be taking any robust longs unless we do recapture this area up here, and that's just my assessment of Litecoin. However, overall the chart it's actually already macro bullish, which most assets are not. So, you know, take that how you will. But again, we jump over to the 2 week, and I'll show you that potential 2 week squeeze play on Litecoin. And you do see that if we hold this level, then we are going to be able to get a squeeze potentially between the 9 and the 21 EMA. And where that could take us, I don't know. I haven't seen that type of a squeeze on Litecoin since back here, and that was that huge, what was it, like 650% run, right? Yeah, I mean this was like an 800% run actually. So depending where you measure it from. Guys, I think I'm going to end there. I hope those levels help you understand what could be going on with Litecoin. Of course, everything that has a nice run also has a pullback. And, just looking at this 2 week, you can also see that we have a lot of support right here. So we would expect it to bounce. And kind of glad I looked at this 2 week right here because that also makes sense for the totally lost. You can see these candles are basically just up and down right here, right? Up and down. And so if we do violate this area, there's a good chance that we're just going to come all the way back down to this $50 area. So again, 61.59, very critical level to hold. Would strongly prefer to hold above this $64.99, basically $65. We want to hold above. Why? Because that's going to have us still capturing this 9 EMA on the 2 week, which would suggest some exceptionally bullish potential future for Litecoin, which it is doing right now. We are holding that level above that 9 and also the 4 here. So again, we are bullishly oriented on Litecoin on the very high macro perspective, as well as we have potential to just work this 21 EMA. We want to see it turn flat or bullish. That's what we're looking for on the 2 week chart. But again, the weekly, it already had its squeeze play. So if this thing needs to just settle down for a while, that's also totally understandable, right? Like, the chart may just need to relax because it's already had a very bullish move on it compared to most other assets in this market. All right, gonna end it there. That was your alpha for the day. Stay safe and happy trading.